Okay, so just to end on this topic, I'm just gonna say this, like, so because the stuff we're dealing, most expensive Battlefield game ever, they need maximum exposure. They need maximum, like, they need to hit the notes right? So, this is actually perfect on the next one. This next Battlefield game is a reboot. Why do I say it's a reboot? Well, all the signs point that it needs to be a reboot. So that's one thing. That's what we discussed for the last 20 minutes. It needs to be a reboot. That's one thing. But why I think it's gonna be a reboot, like, actually, like, I guess, evidence, I guess. So, Temporal, our famous Battlefield leaker, right? He went data mining, and he found some classic maps being worked on Battlefield 6, or the next Battlefield game. A couple episodes ago, us three, you, me, and Andre, we talking about propaganda and telemarket being available for the next game. We don't know if it's coming or not, but they were the references were there in the files. Like, cool. So maybe we're getting remastered maps. 64 players and everything makes sense. It will not be a bad thing to remaster some maps. So we talked about a couple episodes ago, but as I went a bit deeper, and he went a bit deeper, he found that Operation Firestorm was also mentioned there. So the old classic Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 map, Operation Firestorm and everything. I was like, okay, so we're getting propaganda, telemarket, and Operation Firestorm back in the game. It seems like it, right? In quotation. Seems like we might be getting these maps as remasters in the next game. Cool. Why does it matter? Why? How does it prove that it's a reboot? Isn't that basically says it's not a reboot? Catch is, Temporal, as he's going through the files, he noticed that all these maps are mentioned, but they're mentioned in different locations than they originally were. So in Battlefield 3, Operation Firestorm was in Iran. Propaganda was in North Korea. And telemarket, I don't know, where was it? Iran too? I guess? I think it was, right?
Think so.
Anyway, it was a location, right? Back in those games. But in this game, in this new upcoming game, these remastered maps will be placed in different locations. So Operation Firestorm will be apparently in Bulgaria. Propaganda... Actually, wait, no. Sorry. Propaganda will be placed in Bulgaria, not North Korea. Operation Firestorm is placed in Turkmenistan? So, okay, so there was a map in the Battlefield Labs that they played recently. The one in the mountains. I forgot the name. Capstone? I think that's what the map is called, right? It's in some stand country, right? I don't know which country.
One of the stands.
One of the stands, right? So that's what the Battlefield Labs map was.
It's a place
like.
That has both grass and desert and shelves.
Yeah. So apparently Operation Firestorm is part of the same country. So those two maps maybe like next to each other or something like that, like the lore-wise, right? So that's not Iran. That's a different country. And then what we don't know about telemarket, it was never mentioned. Oh, also, forgot, downtown for Battlefield Hardline was also mentioned. So that might also coming back. And that's probably going to be not LA, it's going to be maybe a different location.
Yeah, but that's an American location. Like, what are they going to switch that around to? This is now all of a sudden it's in the UK.
I mean, we have buildings.
Yeah, man, I would hope you have buildings
we
over
have
there.
buildings,
Christ, where do you guys live in? Holes in
we
the
have
ground?
buildings and we make a cup of tea in there and everything.
No wonder you guys bitch about the rain so much. Your
yeah,
because
we don't
flooded.
we don't have buildings. It's just like it just rains on us. It's like
It's just you. It's just your entire populace standing outside in boiler caps and fucking umbrellas and just. Righto, is it time for tea yet?
Yeah, like, oh, you make tea from the rain itself.
That's that. Yeah, standing there with your teacup, beholden out, and just, whatever your favorite brand is, you just have a box of it in your long coat.
Yeah.
And you just pull forthwith and
then being me, you have a cup of tea and you pour a fucking Monster in it. Like, yeah, let's go. But anyway,
meanwhile, we Americans have buildings and coffee.
Oh yeah, the first world problems, But anyway, why? So all these maps, right? Fan favorite maps from all the games, and in this new Battlefield game, apparently will be in new locations.
I'm just gonna hold on real quick. I mean, is it like, have we seen these maps yet?
No, just
Okay, so before anybody gets overly excited, let's stop and remember one thing, kids. DICE has a habit, or some of the older DICE devs, or even in the lineage of the people who have worked on the Battlefield franchise, have this nice habit of performing things under subterfuge, where they make you think one thing is happening and then something completely different happens. Keep that in mind as we go forward.
Yep. So just because it's in the files doesn't mean it's coming or whatever.
Exactly. It could be, they could be fucking with us because they know we're gonna data mine. They know the community's gonna pick through everything with a fine-tooth comb. They knew, they're not dumb. So it could be things to just throw us off. Let's just keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Not to kill anybody's little happiness here, but let's just be real.
Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, so because assuming they're coming and this is all true, they're gonna be in different name locations. Well, this basically tells me this is a reboot. This new Battlefield game is a reboot. As I said, I think it needs to be a reboot. I think it needs a fresh, clean start. And everything you need to bring this franchise back to its glory days. But you can't do the same thing as you've been doing for the last 15, 10 years. So, let's do a reboot. But hey, we want to bring the good stuff with us, right? We don't want to abandon all the good stuff that we did back in all the games. No,
we should be proud of our heritage.
So why not take propaganda from North Korea and remake it into a Bulgaria, right? Bulgaria makes sense. East European country, those buildings and blocks and everything. Instead of Kim Jong-un's or whatever his name is, statue at a flag or whatever the flag is, it will be, I don't know, some statue of some Soviet leader or some crap. We have architecture in East Europe that, you can't do that. It's basically propaganda with a different coat of paint, but it's a different country, different location. But hey, plays like propaganda.
Not just this. I mean, map-wise speaking, how the map in the Earth looks, I mean, they could tie that specifically to their canon, but the geopoliticals, I mean, if Battlefield's smart and they really want to reboot, then they would take advantage of that fact and just completely revamp the geopolitical situation.
Well, that's what
away from the current one to differentiate it.
Well, that's what they're going to do.
That would be a smart move.
Yeah. So apparently, there's two factions in the game, which is going to be the whole single player about NATO versus Pax Armata, and Pax Armata, from what people seen, from what we've seen the playtest and the leaks and data mine and everything. It's not basically West versus East, right? Because apparently the Pax Armata faction, it's not just a military company or whatever, right? It's not, what's the word, PMCs.
It's not just a PMC. It's a PMC that's everywhere. It's an omnipotent PMC, an OPMC, if you will.
Yeah. So apparently it has Spanish on their side. They have Balkans. They have German, I think.
It's the most neutral ass enemy in the world, so nobody can get mad.
Yeah.
It's everybody is getting in on this dumb shit. I mean, I get it.
I can actually tell you. I can actually tell you because I remember. Here we go. Balkan, Spanish. And some sort of East something, Algeria or North Africa, something like that. So kinda I get that geopolitical thing. So it's more like North versus South kind of thing, not West versus East. So it's kind of like they flipped it. If we're talking about geopolitics from this game, if that's the case. But that's that. So Bulgaria, I mean, geopolitically, according to map, yeah, I guess it makes sense. It's like the southeast of Europe and I guess northwest of Europe. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Middle Eastern European beefing, baby.
So yeah, so basically, this game is a reboot. Politics are different, all that kind of stuff. Forget what you knew about the next game, previous games. Doesn't matter. This is a new, fresh start. So yeah, let's remake maps, right? But let's make them in this new universe. Hey, there's war in Bulgaria. Okay, let's put propaganda there. We can repaint it. It looks like propaganda, smells like propaganda, but it's a different paint, different color of paint or something like that. Like, you know what? It's fine. I think it's clever. I think it's one of the cleverest ideas they can come up with. Like, bring Operation Firestorm back. Sure, it's a different country, but who cares? If it plays like Operation Firestorm, you will not care what fucking country it's from, honestly. But the lore people, they will care. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. No, it's a nice Easter egg, I guess. So, I think it's clever. I think it's a really clever idea. Like, just take old maps that we used to love from all the games. We can't reuse in the same location because it doesn't make sense in the universe we're making. But doesn't mean we can remake it in this universe. We can. I think it's clever. Some will bitch. Some really tiny minority will bitch. But I think majority of people will not care. They just want these maps back. And also,
I think it's just what the franchise just needs to do. Because I mean, let's be real. I mean, Operation Firestorm. It's Operation. That means it's a plan. It's a thing that's happening. It's not necessarily a location, if we think about it. So Operation Firestorm can happen damn near anywhere. Now the reason why it's being named, if that's not being carried over, I would get kind of upset about, because the firestorm is basically oil fields of flame. So if it's going to be where it's going to be, then I want to see some fucking burning oil there.
Yeah, as long as that's
I want that. That needs to be there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Operation Metro. I made the joke in pre-production. I'd be like, no, watch. The dumb thing would be is if they'd make it Operation Metro, but put it in the fucking sewer, where that wouldn't make any goddamn sense whatsoever. Again, Operation. If it's in a metropolitan or a metro, as what the Europeans call their tube system, it could be Operation Metro in New York City for all you fucking know. We got subways here too, bitch.
It's called Operation Underground or something. Oh, wait, they had Operation Underground in Battlefield 5. Wait a minute. So, yeah, you can rename maps. So, yeah, exactly. So, it can be like, yeah.
Now, things like Caspian Border, you can't get away with just changing. Because you have now locked yourself into that location.
Well, you can
Caspian Border.
You can change the Caspian name into something else. Like,
right, you could have a border.
Yeah,
you could have a border.
It's like,
there.
Let's say,
you
I don't know,
keep the idea.
Poland.
Caspian Border was a fucking amazing map. Fucking people.
So, but now you can remake that into something else. But it's still Caspian Border. But like again, instead of like Caspian Border, it's insane. Let's say Polish border, right?
Locker. Operation Locker. Ah, there's another one. You want another prison map? We could have another Operation Locker.
Yeah. So, I think this is fine.
Do it at Alcatraz.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Why not?
People have been asking for Alcatraz map for God knows how long in Battlefield. They think that it will be an amazing conquest map. Sure, maybe.
The problem is tying it into tying it into the single player. That's the whole part of the reason of a lot of the maps for why they exist for, is because, I mean, you think about it, Battlefield 4, a lot of those maps covered a lot of the conflicts and what happened post the campaign. If you look into it, that's what it was supposed to be. And same thing with Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1, a lot of the multiplayer maps, they were tied in with the battles that happened in the War of World War I. They were tied in with what happened during the single player. Same thing. We keep going. It has always been a thing. The maps for multiplayer for that particular game tie in some way, shape, or form to the single player happenings in that particular game. Unless it is a spin-off and made completely obvious. And you're told that. Because that has happened. Yeah. Vietnam.
Yep. Also, it's not the first
Bad Company.
Also, I just remembered. Battlefield Hardline. They remade Grand Bazaar into LA.
Yep.
Yep. It was a market in LA.
It's a Grand Bazaar.
Yep.
It's a bazaar is a market.
Wait, was it Chinatown? I think it was Chinatown.
It could have been. It would have made sense.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because there were a lot of bazaar markets down there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chinatown. Yeah, Hardline remade Grand Bazaar. It was Chinatown in LA. So okay.
You could have Grand Bazaar at a fucking farmer's market.
Yeah. So yeah, it's if anyone bitches about this, like, well, it happened.
Not Whole Foods. I'm just gonna clear that one right now. Whole Foods is not a fucking farmer's market. That is not it. No.
Yeah, Whole Foods is anything but a farmer's market. Even I know that.
It's a goddamn grocery store.
Even I know that, yeah. But yeah, I think this is clever. I think this is clever that, take old maps, remake them into this new universe, and Battlefield's a reboot, needs a fresh start. I think this basically proves that this game is a reboot. in my
there
eyes,
are good ideas.
yeah, in my
Now let's see what the execution is.
yeah, let's see what the execution is. But in my eyes, this is basically if the data mines are correct and everything is here not fake and they're working on, and this is what they're aiming for. This basically confirms to me that it's not gonna be called Battlefield 6. It's just gonna be called Battlefield. Fresh new start, fresh new ideas, fresh new era. Like, yeah, we remember the good old times, but we have to move on. And that's great.
How we're going to pay homage to them with nods and other shit. Yeah, and it would be wise for them to do that. You know, restart the franchise without disrespecting what came before it and taking those lessons and all the ideas that have been learned over the years and actually applying them properly. That would be exactly what it needs. Will it get it? Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see.